What is up, everyone? Trying to get more moto vlogs out for you guys. So here we are, back on the MT10 SP, and I actually had a topic for today. I was going to talk about how I got into motorcycles, purchasing my first motorcycle, and I guess just the bikes I've owned and my experiences with them. That was today's video idea. Pretty much all my life, my dad has been into like cars, not so much bikes, but like cars. He's got an old, he's had a lot of cars over the years, but he's got an old 1968 Mustang right now that he's rebuilt entirely, and it's almost done except for the interior, but like it's drivable. You're just sitting on nothing when you drive it. He's always been mechanically inclined with cars and stuff like that. So for me, growing up around it, obviously you kind of take an interest in what your parents do, especially when it's cool like that. You know, old Mustang, that's pretty cool. I'm more of a believe in asking for forgiveness after you do something rather than permission. I was around 17, 18 when I got my first bike. It was a little Honda CBR 250. I'll pop a picture up on the screen for you guys. Yeah, little Honda CBR. I had a minimum wage job, just like working at a concession stand in high school, making like $10 an hour, and I just worked and saved like three to 4 grand. I think that bike was, I think I bought it for $3K. So yeah, I just saved up every dime of what I got from working, and I went and bought that first bike. My friend's dad went with me because he had a trailer, and I didn't want my parents to know. So my friend's dad came with me with the trailer. We put it on the trailer. You know, I bought it, talked to the guy on Facebook Marketplace, did all that stuff, got the title and all that. And then I just showed up. I just showed up at my parents' house with a bike, and they were pissed, obviously. My dad, my mom, both pissed, especially my mom. I don't think my dad was too mad about it. He was probably like, oh, this is cool, like sick, a bike. But I think he put on an act to try and like back my mom, because she was not happy about it. She's still not happy about it. This is my 5th or 6th bike, and she's still not happy about it. So obviously we're on good terms, and you know, everything worked out how it did, but obviously she wishes I didn't ride because, you know, it's dangerous. She just worries. That's it. That's all it is. And you know, that's all your parents are like trying to tell you, not when they're saying not to buy a bike. It's just, you know, they're worried for your safety. They're worried about other people on the road, because it's not necessarily you. You could do everything in the world. You could wear your gear, you could not speed, drive as safe as possible, and there's still other people on the road that just are not good drivers. There's a lot of bad drivers on the road nowadays. Like this guy, for example. Oh, never mind. I thought he was gonna cut into my lane. But yeah, it's not out of a place, at least for my parents, it wasn't out of a place of like, no, you can't get a bike because we said so. It was just about like safety and all that. But yeah, like I said, I just showed up one day, and you know, they were mad for maybe like a week or two, but you got to try and reassure them, you know, tell them like, oh, I'll wear my gear, you know, I won't speed, I'll be super careful, like whatever you can say to reassure them after the fact. I had my CBR for maybe like, I think I only had it for a month or two actually. I learned how to ride in my neighborhood, just like stop signs, stop and go. I don't think I left my neighborhood for the first week of riding, and I was riding like every day for maybe a few hours, just like learning and watching YouTube videos on how to ride a motorcycle, and then going and practicing that, and you know, doing whatever. And then oh, my blinker was on that whole time. That's awkward. Whoopsie. And then after that, I had an old friend from middle school, high school that saw that I got a bike, and we started riding together. So I had someone to kind of teach me a little more as well, which was cool. After the CBR, it was a 2013 FZ6R. I'll pop a picture up again. It was a red white thing, looked good. It was a 600. That is a really good starter bike. If you don't want to start on a 250, a 300, a 400, that is, I would say, a perfect 600 starter bike. It's a little heavy. It's 470 curb weight or wet weight, but the power band is so smooth on that thing. Like, it's not super aggressive, you know. It's a really comfy bike, not aggressive. Like, you're sitting comfortable on it, kind of like upright, not hunched over on it like a super sport. That's a really good bike. I enjoyed that bike a lot, especially when I first got it. I did get a little bored of it, but I did enjoy that bike the first few months I had it. I think I had that for, I don't know, a few months, maybe like half a year. And then I actually ended up selling it to my dad. My dad started getting back into motorcycles because of me, which is crazy. And now we ride together. He rides on my old bike, and I ride on, you know, whatever bike I have at the time. But yeah, he had a little, I don't know what it was, but it was a little like cafe racer back in the day. He's 60, so he's older, you know. But he had a little cafe racer, and he would ride that around back in Florida. He's really tame and chill, you know, because he's older, but still, it's really cool to like get your parents into riding, and you know, if they're into that stuff and they have the money to, then why not? After the FC6R, I took a big step up to the R6. I got a 2008 R6S, and I'll throw a picture of that up. It had white, red, and black fairings, and man, that thing, at the time I was like, this thing is awesome. It looks clean. It's super good looking. That bike was clapped. I had that bike for 2 years, but that bike was clapped. I learned a lot about riding on that bike. Eventually, I changed those white fairings to black ones. Not because I didn't like the white ones, but they were really old and like cracking everywhere, and the paint was discolored if you looked really closely, and they were just bad fairings, so I had to get new fairings for it. I bought that for, I think I bought that for $5 grand, and it had like 16,000 miles on it or something, and I put another, I think I sold it at 34,000. So yeah, I put a lot of miles on that bike over the 2 years. And then that's when I started making content too, so that's where the name R6 Goon comes from, which there really wasn't much thought into that name. I just had an R6 and I liked the word goon, so hence the name R6 Goon. Actually, we're gonna go left here. After the R6, I at this time was making a little more money, you know, had saved up some, and then had the money from selling the R6, and I bought a 2023 MT-09 that was used but only had like 800 miles on it. I think I bought that for like 85 or 9 grand. The throttle was really twitchy. I'm not 100% sure if that was the bike or like the tune I had on it. But yeah, the throttle was really twitchy. It was not a smooth bike at all, which I didn't really enjoy. It was also really unstable, which is like a common thing with the MT-09s, but I just did not like it. I sold that bike, I don't even know, like 3 weeks ago maybe, and here we are with the new 2022 MT-10 SP. And that's where my bike journey has taken me over the 4 or 5 years I've been riding. We're finally to a leader bike, and man, this bike is awesome. This is by far, either this or the R6 are my favorite bikes by far. It was either this or a brand new R1. So, you know, oh, there's a cop up there. Slow down a little. So, you know, we were going into leader bike territory no matter what. Hello, Mr. Cop. Are you even in your car? Oh, he is in his car. He's not even looking. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. All those people on like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, saying to start on a 600, start on a leader bike. I don't recommend that. You could definitely, like the newer super sports, if you want, you could start on a new super sport, because they got the power modes. You can turn it down and learn on it. Or I don't recommend it. I'd recommend starting on that FC6R or FC6, like I said earlier. But you definitely could start on a super sport, a newer super sport with power modes and stuff, and turn it down if you wanted. But I don't recommend it. I think that if you're a little bigger person, a heavier person, start on a 400, 500 maybe, like a CBR 500 or like a Ninja 400. And if you're a little more timid, scared of learning, start on like a 250, a 300, something like that. R3, M203, whatever. There's so many good beginner bikes out there. You really can't go wrong with like one brand, like the big 3 or 4, like Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki. You can't really go wrong with them. It's kind of just what you like and what your budget is. Some pops. Oh my god. That's pretty sick. And once you start riding, don't ride with idiots. I try not to ride with idiots on purpose, like trying to go hassle the police into chasing. Like, that's just stupid. Like, don't do that. You're just gonna get yourself either crashed, dead, or put in jail. Like, it's just dumb. Or you're gonna be in a shitty situation where you have to like tell them your friends' names or whatever. It just sucks. It's just a shitty situation to be in. I kind of have a personal experience with that. I mean, I'm sure there's at least one person watching this video who's seen me getting pulled over by a state trooper after going 123 on the highway, and they clocked me from a plane. Like, they did the little timer, and then the plane told the car to come pull me over. And yeah, there's a whole, I mean, I think the video on my channel alone has like, I don't know, 6 million views, or not 6 million, 60 million views or something. So at least one of you has seen that video. I know you have. It wouldn't have been worth it for me to run that day. Like, I got a ticket, I paid the ticket, that was it. Like, whatever. It wasn't the end of the world. It's a few $100, like 300 or something. It is what it is. I'm not dead, I'm not in jail. So I think that's all I gotta say, and I hope to see some of y'all out on the road.